Hello and welcome to this tutorial on simplifying square roots. The first thing I want to make sure that you have here memorized, and certainly as you use them more you're going to memorize them, are the perfect squares. The reason they're called perfect squares is that every time that you take a square root, for instance, of one of them, such as, let's say, for instance, the square root of 81, you're going to there get a whole number, 9. So if you take the square root of 25, you get 5. So all of these give you whole numbers. These are the numbers we're going to use to be able to simplify these radicals. So let's start off with the square root of 50. So the square root of 50 here can be broken down into two square roots. So what we do is we first look at what perfect square is 50 divisible by. We want to pick the largest one possible. 50 is divisible by 25, so I'm going to write that perfect square here first. 25 goes into 50 twice. 25 times 2 is 50, so we have the square root of 25 times the square root of 2. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify the square root of 25, which is the whole number 5. Make sure you don't put a radical or square root over that 5. But the 2 is an irrational number. So the square root of 50 is going to simplify to 5 square root of 2. Now let's come down here to the 108. Now for the 108, we're going to start over here at the 100. We know that's not going to go in there. So we want to kind of look down here and see, would maybe 64 keep coming, and say, well, maybe 16 is going to work. 64 goes into 128. 16 seems like it might work. So what you can do here is start off with 16. Then you want to determine, okay, how many times does 16 go into 108? And you can certainly use your calculator here if you'd like. So you can go ahead and fire that up. Do 108 divided by 16. Of course, you can do this mentally. And you say, oh, that's 6.75. That did not work. Okay, looks like I missed that. And so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to erase this. And let's see, maybe I missed one here. 36 possibly. Let's try that. So the square root of 36. And realize, oh, yes, that goes into 108 3 times. And so now when we simplify that, we'll have the square root of 36, which is 6. And then we'll have a square root of 3. So 108 simplifies down to 6 square root of 3. 63 now. So same kind of process. We look at these and we say, okay, could 36 or 25, maybe 16? I'm going to try the 9. Let's see if 9 goes in there. So I'm thinking, well, 9 times 7 is 63. So it looks like that's going to be a good fit. Square root of 9 is 3. So we'll have a 3 there. Keep that square root of 7. Let's come down here to this final one. We've got the square root of 32. Now, 32 is unique here because you can have a couple different ones that are going to be pretty obvious to go into. So we have 16 that goes into 32, but there's also 4. Now let's say that I choose a 4. So I put the 4 here, and I say, okay, that's times 8. And I say the square root of 4 is 2, square root of 8. Notice the square root of 8 can also be broken down. That means I missed something. I should have chosen a bigger one, but I can still move to a simplified version from here. So I can keep the 2. I can write the 8 as a 4 times 2. And then we can simplify that. And this will be 2 times the square root of 4 is 2, square root of 2, which would give me a final answer of 4 square root of 2. Now notice I could have, in retrospect, written this as the square root of 16 times the square root of 2, and notice the square root of 16 is 4, and we have that square root of 2. So went ahead and did a longer route on purpose just to show you that if you do choose a perfect square that's smaller, it's not the end of the problem. You certainly can still get the right answer. So here I've got the same perfect squares listed. It's always a good idea for you guys to, write those down. So let's take a look. So we got the square root of 72. So look at these here and figure out which one goes in evenly to 72. And I notice 36 is the largest one, and there might be one smaller, but try to pick the largest if you can. So we'll have 36. How many times does it go in there? It goes in twice. And so that's going to be equal to 6 square root of 2. Let's go down to the 125. So now let's take a look once again. So 25 is going to go in there. So let's try that. So 25 will go in 5. The way that I know that I chose the largest perfect square that goes into 125 is because this 5 you cannot simplify. Whereas in the last problem, you notice that that 8, you could still simplify that because 4 went into it. But 5 here, well, that's a prime number. So we're going to be good to go there. So we'll go ahead and now simplify our answer to 5 square root of 5. As we get larger numbers, it might get a little tricky, but 300, notice that 100 goes in there. So we have the square root of 100 times, well, 100 goes into 300 3 times, so that'll give us 10 square root of 3. And finally, 98. So once again, we kind of look at, okay, what could possibly go in there? This one's a little trickier, but we notice, the 49. So 49, so I'll put the square root of 49. 49 goes in there twice. So our final answer there, square root of 49 is 7 square root of 2. So I hope this really helps you learn how to simplify square roots. Have a great day.